Alright guys, Bob in here, and today we're going to go over the best slash meta builds for White 14. As we know, this patch came a huge recoil overhaul, and a lot of guns changed. Some didn't, some for the better, some for the worse. Starting off with the Mutant, this gun definitely changed for the worse. Last wipe, this gun was the king, and this wipe you rarely see it. It's just so much worse compared to the other ones. Nothing about the build changed realistically. You could swap out the handguard for the one that you can run the CQR with. This one if you want. This is typically how I run it, but stat wise the other one's better. This one's 3874. This one's 3974, so one slight ergo better. But in my opinion the CQR one feels better. But for the sake of the video, we'll show this one. Like I said, it really doesn't matter. This gun is pretty much dead. So hopping into the recoil, this mag has BP, so this will be the BP recoil. It might not look that bad, but when we compare it to other guns here in a minute, you'll notice the difference. One thing I will note with the Mutant is, if you use a mag of US bullets, US gives you negative 30 recoil or minus 30 recoil. So when you shoot US out of the Mutant, notice the recoil is significantly less. So as you can see, if you have no issue using US, like for example excessive hit counts with super low damage, you can buy unlimited US if you want to use the Mutant that bad. So that's the Mutant. Then we'll move on to the Spear, which is obviously new this wipe, insanely expensive. Unfortunately, this gun, in my opinion, would be the best gun in the game if they did not do the armor overhaul. But with the new armor, this gun is just way too expensive for guns that do the same thing, but way cheaper. But on the flip side, it's still super fun to use, and it's, you know. Go ahead. You can see the recoil is pretty bad on it. Obviously, like if you crouch, it's controllable. But this gun is fun to use. The reason I say it would be one of the best guns in the game if the armor rehaul didn't happen is because this bullet right here. If you look at the stats of this bullet is crazy. So what I was saying about the Spear being insanely expensive and not really worth it is because, like I said earlier, if you hit somebody in the armpit twice, they die. You hit them with a plate, plate isn't, they just die. So I don't think it's worth spending the $500,000 if you don't have it unlocked. And a lot of people don't have this unlocked and probably won't because it's the end of Lightkeeper. But it's still a fun gun to use regardless, you know. I still use it quite a bit just because it's new. Moving on to the Val. I like running the RK2 on the Val. I know it's minus 8 ergo over the SC5, but again, the Val's another gun that is just, you know, like it's definitely usable, definitely controllable. Only issue with the Val is it jams after like a mag and a half. So if you're in a fight, you reload. Here, we'll show you an example really quick. Boom, 2 mags. So we'll shoot the first mag, reload, and shoot the second one. Reload. So if you're fighting a team, the Val is very bad. And it jams. So a lot of people don't use the Val for that reason. It jams too quick, overheats too quick. But it's still a really good gun. Honestly, I think it's one of, if not the best gun for labs, because labs is so close quarters. Moving on to 5.56, the dreaded 5.56 that we all complain about every wipe, but I use this a lot on stream. I don't know why. This little foregrip, just for whatever reason, feels good on the MDR. I know I've been showing the recoil standing up, but like, they're standing. You can also run a 40 in it if you want. But I find that when you put a 60 in this, the gun just feels off. I know this definitely isn't a meta build, but I do think the 5.56 MDR is one of the best guns this wipe. I might just be delusional, but I like it. Moving on to another gun that is very similar to the 5.56 MDR is the AUG. Last wipe, the AUG was pretty much obsolete. This wipe, it is one of the best guns in the game. Oops. The AUG also sounds really cool. Slight benefit. I mean, even in 6x crouch, it's kind of controllable, but that is that. Moving on to the M4 and the HK. Again, the SC5 is meta over this. You gain 6 ergo for like 1 recoil. But for whatever reason, I'm not really a fan of the SC5. I'm trying to like get used to it. But as you can see, I mean, the M4 has always been pretty much a laser beam. And then moving on to the HK. And then the HK, the M4 and HK are still really, really, really good. Especially with the armor rework. Again, 2 shots to the thorax or the armpit, and typically you kill somebody. But the issues that come with these 2 guns is obviously 5.56. And if you've played Tarkov for more than like 6 hours, you know that 5.56 is the most inconsistent thing in the game. But there's the builds for those. And then moving on to 308. Last wipe, the MDR, they pretty much killed the MDR. But with the recoil change, it is back. You can definitely use the MDR again. And with the introduction of the 25 rounders, the MDR is definitely a viable choice now. Again, you're gonna need to crouch. I know I didn't show the recoil crouch with the first few guns, but you should get the gist of it. And then moving on to the FAL. So, in my opinion, the FAL is probably the best gun this wipe. The build on the right is the long barrel FAL. That's the one that I still use and I think feels better. But a lot of people this wipe have swapped to 16-inch or 11-inch barrel. 16-inch on the left, long barrel on the right. So we'll show the long barrel first. This is the recoil standing. So you can see, definitely controllable. And then this will be the recoil crouched. And then comparing it to the 16-inch barrel, which like I said, a lot of people are starting to use. Standing. Oops. And then this will be crouched. So as you can tell, the 16-inch does have slightly more recoil, hence why I like this one. I don't know. I just like the long barrel FAL. The difference stat-wise is 14 ergo and 4 recoil. So definitely stat-wise, the ergo is better, the 16-inch. But you guys have to try it out yourself and see what you like. So as I was saying previously in the video, I've always been an SC5 hater. I don't know how to explain it other than, for whatever reason, the SC5 just genuinely feels bad. Typically, I run the canted RK1. What is it, like 6 ergo worse? 6 ergo, 1 recoil worse. I know it doesn't make sense, but if you've ever used it, you'll just know that it just feels better. I think that pretty much sums up all the best / meta builds for the wipe. Another gun I want to point out that's really good is the MP7. I tend to not use it a lot because you can only buy like 100 and something FMJs. I have been using it with subsonic a lot though. I will say that. The MP7 subsonic it did get a nerf, so it kind of sucks. But I mean that's standing up recoil. So when you crouch with this thing, it is a literal laser beam. So if you haven't tried the MP7 with subsonic, I would highly recommend trying it at least once. Subsonic is crazy, as we just saw. I don't ever use DMRs like the SR25, M1A. I think those are completely useless this wipe unless you're specifically like sniping or playing slow or shooting from range. I don't think there's any point to use that over like MDR or FAL. I think that's about it for the best build / meta guns / what I've been using this wipe. With all the guns here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.